We have Liam, who's calling in from Louisiana, who's asking us, did we hear that the rapture should have happened yesterday? Did you hear about this?
I didn't hear about this.
Just to lighten the mood.
Just to lighten the mood.
I wanted to congratulate both of you and all the listeners at home for surviving yet another rapture.
Yeah.
It happened again. And evidently, I don't have access to all the police reports, but I'm not aware of hundreds of thousands of missing persons.
Yeah.
Weren't planes falling out of the sky?
We could just be really screwed, and it did happen, and none of us are going to heaven or whatever. I don't know.
There's 15 Amish people, and they're the only ones who
and we don't know because they don't post on the internet.
I know,
so
that's true.
They don't have you know how Facebook has the I'm safe from this event thing. They don't have I'm safe from the rapture thing because they don't have Facebook.
We're gonna learn about it on NPR 10 years from now that there was some weird.
Yeah.
I know this has happened before, but real quick, this occurred to me, and I wanted to pitch this. I'm a longtime skeptic. I know my Bible. I was raised in the Deep South. And there's a very specific verse that says, "No man knoweth the day or the hour the Son of Man will return."
Yes.
You familiar with that?
Very familiar with that.
Yep.
And so that's a very, very specific equation there. And even if you take it literally and just reduce it to men's, that's 4 billion men's on the planet. And so I think we could just game the system and do an online sign-up sheet to pretend you know the day and the hour, to just in your heart of hearts be firmly convinced that the Son of Man will return in the specific day and hour. You know how much time that gives us with 4 billion people?
Yeah.
It comes out to 456,000 years.
Yeah, we could delay it back a little bit. That is a good plan. I don't think they anticipated the internet when they wrote that passage, so we might have just found a loophole here.
I do love rapture predictions, though. They just make me feel a little bit more alive. I'm like, just maybe the world will end tomorrow. I'm just going to live it up today.
That makes you feel more alive? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I mean.
Am I the only one? I don't know.
I don't know if I've ever heard a rapture prediction. I'm like, God, I feel more alive after knowing.
I'm living on the edge.
I mean, I guess so.
It can get tragic, though. The internet historian has that thing about, what's his name, Camping, that made all those billboards.
Right.
And he personally bankrupted himself and had people just max out their credit cards and quit their jobs, and it was a bad deal. I mean, it's really not funny, but I think it's just a skeptical outrage thing.
It isn't funny. It does it is funny, but it isn't funny, right? Because it does affect real human lives.
The fact that there's a cult leader taking advantage of people and perhaps deluded himself, that part is not funny or absolutely right.
The funny part is, of course, how often we have rapture predictions, right? Where it's it seems to keep coming up, but then some people are just very convinced of, this next one being the one. I have to wonder if that verse that says, we don't know the day or the hour that this is going to happen, I wonder how many more Christians would fall into that. Because I think that's a very big stopgap. I know it was for me. When I remember my pastor talking about, don't ever worry about, camping and all these people because, there's we don't know the day or the hour. Or when the Mayan stuff was happening. Remember 2012? That was the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember having the peace of mind knowing, we don't know the day or the hour. So.
I taught 6th grade at the time, and some of the 6th graders were really, really worried about
low-key, I think I was worried too.
Yeah.
But I don't remember how old I was. Probably old enough to know better. But the point is, I think it takes advantage of people's fear, right? And just kind of hijacks it in a way that makes them not think clearly about it. And if you do think clearly about it, you realize, hey, they're really, John of I can't remember his name. John of Patmos, guy who wrote it. We don't even know who he is. He just literally just wrote a book. And now we just got to be afraid of this for some reason because a bunch of other people think there's something to it. That's all Revelation, the book of Revelation really is.
It makes that fear of hell very proximate. And I think a lot of folks, I know I struggled with fear of hell when I was leaving the faith, and still I think in the back of my head there's this, it's hard to shake. So if you're being told it might be this week, better get right with God, that it pushes that fear of hell right there into your face. Because
it's not just, you can't just be a good person. Christianity doesn't teach that. You have to have the specific relationship with God. You have to be saved. You have to be doing X, Y, and Z, depending on the denomination, right? But it's never just, are you generally a good guy? Yeah, you're probably fine. It's, no, you're not attending church. You're not tithing. You're not whatever.
You have 1 week to figure out which denomination and which religion got it right.
Yes.
And if it's one guy named Dave from Vancouver in 1973, then I guess you got to find him in that time.
Yeah. Go to Dave.
Yeah. I mean, to get more serious, like the evangelical branch I grew up believe in eternal security, to where once saved, always saved. They literally believe that you could be, redeemed by your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, confess sin in your heart, like you could have shoplifted something or said a bad word and then been hit by a truck, and you would die and go to hell forever. And there's a ratcheting up of that psychological abuse. I mean, that's a real thing.
Definitely.
Totally right.
Definitely. And there is this theology, too, where it's like there are some Christians who think that they're saved, but they're not.
Right?
Which is, it's like, that's especially messed up, because it's like, well, Jesus could do something about that, right? Like, where's the intervention happening there? But no, they're just going to live their lives thinking they're saved, and they're not. That's probably the most messed up of all, if anything.
I remember knowing a Baptist who was so proud that he had converted a Nazarene to go to the Baptist church. And he brought this up a lot. This was some really big God points for him. And I remember just being like, were the Nazarenes not saved enough? They see.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. But if Rapture happens, we're probably not making the cut, Sophia. I think.
I mean, would we want to?
Good point. Probably not.
Do you know about the pet service that's run by atheists?
Yes.
Yeah, to take in pets.
They'll watch over your pet.
Yes,
love that.
I've heard of this. Yeah, I have mixed feelings about it because, well, I mean, it is. I mean, I don't know. I guess is it a legitimate business? I mean, if you know that nothing's going to come out of it, I don't know. It's it's a little sketchy to me.
There have been instances where people who believe their rapture is coming have put their animals to sleep instead. And so I would argue that this is a harm reduction alternative.
Okay, all right. That's a point I hadn't considered before. 1 point to Sophia today. So that's good.
Favor of atheist animal rescue.
Yes.
But anyway, I don't know. I'm gonna go to pivot away from the dead pets type thing.
Oh, sorry.
But I definitely think that there's an outreach there thing that there's a parody website opportunity for somebody more savvy on the time of sign up for your favorite rapture date, October 30th of 2024. And I think there's enough of us out there. We could at least delay it by 100 years or so. I think we could do that right now.
Yeah, if it requires sincere belief, then I don't know, maybe not. But I mean, if it's just you just have to kind of think about this in your brain for 2 seconds, and that delays it, and you just had to put it on a sign-up sheet, then yeah, sure. I mean, be the change you want to see in the world, Liam. How come you're not?
Right? Let us know when you do it.
Starting this, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for calling in, Liam.
Yeah. Thank you for calling in. We do appreciate it. We'll go ahead and let you go. But, that was a nice change of pace until we started talking about the pets thing. And then
I know, I'm sorry.
But,
Here I'm laughing on the one hand, being like, it makes me feel alive. And then also, dead pets. So sorry I took you for a roller coaster there.